I'm going to review Fire Pro Wrestling D for the Sega Dreamcast. I'm playing this on a Sega Dreamcast emulator actually, the Chancast. So you're going to find a few graphic bugs, but nevertheless this emulation is almost perfect. So one thing I'm going to highly recommend if you play this game, go online and get the translation guide for this. It's really just a simple text document that reads all this crap to you so you can just find your way through these menus. Now, even without the guide, I can still pretty much get my way around the game pretty well, but it's nice to know all the settings. As you can see, this game has a ton of characters. They even just got characters from all federations. I mean, you're going to find ECW wrestlers in here, WWF. I think this was around the same time WCW was dying, so all those wrestlers are in here too. This game also has a ton of secret characters, just not in the video. I mean, there's Shawn Michaels, Jeff Hardy, Tommy Dreamer, just a huge cast of wrestlers. So you might be looking at this game and thinking, for Sega Dreamcast, these aren't the most impressive graphics in the world. In fact, the N64 can probably pull this off. But one thing you'll find in this game that you won't find in any other wrestling game is some goddamn balls. On the corners there, you're going to find wood wrapped in barbed wire, and outside the ring, there's barbed wire all around. So getting to the game a bit, this is really just one of the greatest wrestling experiences you're going to find. This is easily one of the best games ever put on the Dreamcast. It's a real shame it never made it to America. Frankly, I just do not get it. These Fire Pro Wrestling games are just some of the best wrestling games ever made. I could really give two shits about games like SmackDown 2007. I don't care if they have advanced graphics, tables, I don't know, ladders, and ripping off broads' clothes. This is easily just a far better wrestling game. So right here is the Create a Wrestler mode, which, by the way, is fantastic. There's just so many settings, so many moves to choose from. Once again, it's very annoying having to deal with the Japanese language. But I'm telling you, it's still pretty easy to make a character. The only problem I had was I didn't know how to set up the stats because I couldn't read them. But those guides are on the internet that help you guide through the menus. Now, it kind of kills the experience a bit, but it's just such a gratifying wrestling game, I go ahead and make that sacrifice. So since the release of this game back in 2001, I believe there has been two put out on the PlayStation 2. Fire Pro Wrestling Z and Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. It's pretty much the same graphics. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be some new features and, of course, an updated roster. Now, getting back to my point about how this game has balls, this is a really cool match. Now, the cage is covered with barbed wire and it's also electric. And out of the blue, sometimes C4 goes off, and why not? Sometimes this shit's kind of ridiculous, but this is Japanese wrestling, it's just extreme, and they really captured it very well. Now, if you saw my review on Fire Pro Wrestling X, as I said with that one, there are just so many moves in this game, just so much replay value. This is just a great game all around. If there's anything more fun than chokeslamming Sting in the barbed wire, I don't know what it is. So if you want my 2 cents, go ahead, look for this game. If you're a wrestling fan, just go on the internet, look for this game. I don't know, buy it if you have to. It's compatible with the Chancast emulator. It's compatible with the Null DC emulator. Hell, you can play it on the Dreamcast. This is just a game really worth picking up. Also, take a look for those PlayStation 2 games. They're going to be just as great. Frankly, one thing I would really love to see is perhaps one of these games put on the Xbox Live. If I could just play this game online, create a character, I just couldn't imagine having more fun with a video game. And of course, if you just don't feel like going as far as buying one of the more advanced ones, just get the Super Nintendo version, Super Fire Pro Wrestling X Premium. I also did a review on that. It's also an awesome game. Not quite as gratifying as this. This is later and greater, but that is also a great game. You know, this is probably the only game you can have 8 wrestlers going at it and it's not annoying. Now, it's a little hard to pull off things sometimes, but if you ever play any other wrestling games where you have to turn push a button to look at other people, you're getting grabbed from behind. It's just an annoying experience. This actually makes it fun, and including you have all the barbed wire and the weapons. There's just so much going on. It's just ridiculous how much fun this game is. Makes me mad how much fun this game is. Frankly, I'm just out of shit to say. This is one of the best games ever made. It makes me ecstatic. I'm just glad to be looking at it. It's just an amazing game to me. You know what? I'm going to have to give this game an A. If I had something better to give it, I'd give it that. In fact, I'm going to give it 2 A's. That's right, AA. Because your loved ones are going to have to give you an intervention to get away from this game. It's just ridiculous how awesome it is. So just do whatever you have to get a hold of this game. If that means hurting your loved ones, you know what? That's alright. It's just an awesome game. It's worth it.